Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis here. This is going to be a Master Lost Sector guide for K1 Logistics. This will be one hopefully anybody can do, and hopefully you guys are enjoying these guides. But let's jump into what you need to manage. You do have a lot of Fallen, so that's going to be one piece of this. You have Barrier and Overload, so make sure you've got those managed. And then whatever your heavy is, I'm using a linear, just make sure you've got your reserves, your scavengers, your ammo finders, that type of thing to get you as much heavy as possible, because you are going to use it. Now, the boss itself is going to do void damage. It's really the only thing doing void damage in the game because it's the only servitor sitting out here, but it is going to hurt quite a bit. So if you want void damage resistance, you can go with a void chest. If you would prefer arc damage resistance, switch it out, because most things in this are going to be fallen, so lots of arc damage is going to come your way. Some of the captains are going to be solar, so solar is not a horrible idea either. Just whatever you have your issues with, try and match up your damage resistance accordingly. And then other than that, particle deconstruction if you are using a linear fusion rifle. Now, the burn is void, so you want your heavy to be void to get the most out of it. I probably am not going to advise a sword because the boss floats. It's a servitor, it's in the air, it's hard to hit with a sword on a consistent basis with damage. Now, if you have a void rocket launcher, if you have a void linear fusion rifle, those are probably the two that I would advise for chunk damage if you want to go that way. But really, it's up to you. If you don't have a void linear fusion rifle, void rocket would probably be an option. But when it comes to heavies, you've only got a few decent options. Void linear, if you don't have a threaded needle, take a few Umbral Engrams, go to the Umbral Decoder, and if you can do the one where you can pick the Season of the Chosen Weapons, it's going to say you can pick 3 of the Season of the Chosen Weapons. One of them is threaded needle. All you need is one of these, and eventually you'll probably get a good roll, but one of these is going to be beneficial to you. So my advice is eventually working on getting one of these if you don't have it, just so you have the options for the rest of the season. Now, up here you have a couple different options. You need anti-barrier. If you have Arbalist and you're good to go down here, then honestly, Arbalist is probably what I would do. You're getting the bonus of particle deconstruction. You can take care of any types of shields, so you don't need to worry if it's arc, solar, or anything. And you're just going to be able to do everything that you need to do. And it opens up pretty much your other slot for any bow possible. So that's my advice, is if you've got it. Now, if you don't have it, you're going to need barrier, so that's going to be an auto rifle. But it will determine if the auto rifle is going to be down here or up here is if you have a solar bow. The only solar bow that is legendary is from the raid. I'm pretty sure it's not Last Wish, but it's, maybe it's Last Wish. It's one of the, I think it's Last Wish, actually, because of the way this thing looks. Yeah, it's from Last Wish. Not a lot of people run that thing. Not a lot of people may have this thing. A lot of you may have Ticuu's Divination, though. This was a seasonal one, mostly given to you. If you've been playing consistently, you can go with this one. Now, as I said, you need some type of bow. If you don't have a great bow, but you have Arbalist, then go with Arbalist. Doesn't even have to be masterworked. Mine is. Doesn't require it, because it will break basically any shield, and you'll still be able to use it on barrier, because it's intrinsic now. And then all you can literally throw on is just a void bow, Imperial Needle. Probably got one of those floating around, and you're good to go. So it's really an option of what you've got available, depending on what seasons you've played. And I still sometimes hate saying that, but it is an accurate statement. So, Ticuu's Divination, good solar bow. If you somehow actually have Tyranny of Heaven, that's what I would use. If you have Arbalist, that's actually what I would recommend before that, and then just use a void bow. So, depending on your loadout, it is going to be kind of a mix match of what I'm showing you guys. But main thing is you need barrier, and you need overload in some way, shape, fashion, or form. And guess what? Maybe you just have a kinetic bow and you have a solar auto rifle. This isn't an auto rifle, but solar auto rifle, for example, then that would work too. You just need to make sure you have whatever you're trying to do covered. So I'm going to show you guys basic auto rifle, solar bow. I'm going to use Ticuu's because I think more people probably have Ticuu's than a Tyranny of Heaven. I normally don't use exotics, but I'm going to do it this time because I think more people have it. But if you have a solar auto rifle, it's just to break the shields that you've got. So find one that's reasonable and just make sure your heavy is void. There are a few arc shields in here. As I said, if you have Arbalist, the arc shields aren't going to matter. You're going to knock those things off pretty quick. So again, if you have Arbalist, just use the thing. But if you don't, it's going to be throwing grenades, which is going to be a little slower process. So my real advice is to go threaded needle, this one, and then honestly you could go, at that point you have all types of shields covered, so then you can go a void subclass and your super could work and your grenades are going to hit harder. So this would be optimal. Less optimal is going to be what I'm going to show you guys right here. So let's go legendary only, but you guys can see lots of options. Use any exotics you have over here as well. Let's get inside and get this thing done. Alright, so when you jump inside, there are a lot of champions that spawn, so just take a second and gather your thoughts up here. Try not to annoy those guys because there are snipers at the end of this, so keep your line of sight off of those. You'll notice we do have a couple of marauders here, so focus those up first. We are going to have a captain that charges up pretty quickly, so be aware. Try and blow those up first so they don't get you. And just try and get a decent line on this captain. He will peek himself out here. Once he does, pull out your linear fusion rifle, 3 quick shots. If you hit 3 crits, it will be 3. If you miss one, it will be 4. You're going to have another marauder sitting here waiting for you. And again, just watch your line of sight. Snipers down the middle, they will be a little more on the annoying side, but they're going to be shielded for a long time. So there's not a lot you can do until you get rid of that barrier servitor. But he's hard to get rid of. So, depending, as you've got probably 1 grenade, I'm not going with the double grenade build. My advice is chunk a grenade. Mine missed because it hit the wall above. Just work on whittling some of these guys down. Take out the Vandals so there are less grenades coming at you. Captain you can't do much about because he's just annoying. Now, if you have Arbalest, that dude just goes down easy. So again, if you have Arbalest at all, for one, hopefully you get the Catalyst to drop. It's literally from Nightfall's grenades, or Nightfall's strikes, Crucible matches. It doesn't matter. You'll just get it somewhere. That thing is going to be amazing for barrier. But for now, at this point, I just need to take care of this champion. I need to get him to pop his shield. And then I need to just focus up, try and strafe a little bit when you can. And really focus that guy down. Then we can work on the Vandals. Now, they might run back, which is fine. Because at this point, all we got to do is focus on our captain friend. Now, the captain's annoying because as soon as he loses his shield, he's going to, like, run. So, honestly, if you got to go slow like this, I don't have an arc weapon right now, and I'm just kind of working on his shield a little bit, nice and slow. Try and keep some consistent damage on him. If he goes to hide, there's only so much you can do. Now, this is not what I would advise, but it's a way to get rid of his shield. If you got a melee, it's arc subclass. That's why I said an arc subclass as a last resort. Otherwise, try and hit him with a grenade, probably going to work best. Now, up top, you're probably going to have a champion. That's the thing shooting all of that. So be ready for a quick stun. But also, if you stun him first and you've got Vandals up there, take care of the Vandals first. You can always stun that guy again, and you won't have to worry about those guys shooting you while you're trying to kill him. He'll come back. He'll get angry at you. Stun him. Now, pull out your linear. Really hate that head bob they do. There we go. Did get some ammo to drop. Ammo drops are going to be crucial in here. You're going to have some shanks. Here's one. There's 2 more right over here. Those 2 tend to kill each other. And then now you're going to have some exploder shanks that come out. So right now, just stay in the back. Wait for the exploder shanks to come out and just start picking guys off. Getting some ammo drops on this one was lucky. My ammo drops seem to come halfway through on the other one. And just walk far enough up that you get all these little exploder shanks to spawn. Down here, over here, across the way. Try and find all of them. Make sure none are lacking. You're going to have 2 overload captains in here and 1 barrier servitor down below. My advice is hang back here. Some of the guys will eventually come down your way when that happens. Bad time to reload, so I'm going to hang out for a minute. Now, the Vandal gets a little frustrating, so if you got to pull him a little farther, get to where he's not shielded by the servitor. Same thing, let this guy get unshielded. Now that I'm reloaded, 1, 2, let the head bob. Wow, missing every one of those, but what are you going to do? Got some ammo dropping, so again, try and practice those captain shots. So now the same principle here. Make sure your auto rifle's reloaded. I have used it, so I got to make sure I've actually got enough. When you get it down, you know, 1 sticks on a barrier champion on Masters when they will pop their shield, so be ready. Just about like that. Bad reload time, but I should be able to manage. It's just a barrier. There we go. Nice. All right, I got a heavy brick down below before I even go touch that heavy brick, or either one, really. Actually, this one, I think it gives me like 7 or 8 on a full heavy brick. 7, possibly 8 if I've got space for it. But as I've got reserves, I've got some space. There's probably 1 drag over here, usually a straggler. Yep. And then we're going to have the captain, same thing. Make sure you're reloaded on your heavy. And then if you can find our friend, stun him and kill him. 1, 2. Aim a little lower when he goes for that bob. Should hit. Excuse me. All right. Grab your last heavy so you don't have to come back too far for it. Make sure things are reloaded. You're going to be dealing with some barrier champions after this overload. But the overloads in the hallway, pretty easy to manage. Just take it slow. Don't push up too far. Just hang back here. You're going to have some retch. Move up literally just enough for the ads to come out. Captain will peek his head. Focus on him. Now the dregs were trying to take the shots there for the linears, but we got it done. It's fine. Again, reload the heavy here. We're gonna have a few more retch. Gonna have a couple more around the corner. You don't have radar, but they will be literally waiting for you. 2 to 3, depending on which ones have moved up so far. There's the 3. All right, now this is basically the boss arena. Now, when you start this thing, you're gonna have some ads that come off from the side, and you're gonna have some one barrier champion. My advice before you kill too much is if you can get outside or you can get a good shot at the barrier champion, is to focus on the barrier champion. Now, it's really hard due to the angle. You guys can see him roaming back and forth. But the dregs are not really a big deal. And if you can focus some damage into this guy, probably the next arrow is going to get him where he's going to pop his shield. And that's one thing to make note of, is learning when the shield's going to actually pop. You can get him to where, like, that's a rare moment where he's going to come up here. Now, I can stun him here. Pretty open, easy target. Put enough damage on, make sure he doesn't teleport away. Really get that deletion on that champion. That's your focus. Try to leave the dregs up. They're going to be just annoying. That's, again, why the arc damage resistance is not a bad thing. And you're going to have your second one come out. The second one's going to be a little farther away, give you a little bit of range to work with. And just hang back again. Same principle here. Use this place as cover. Back up if you need to. Work on the little guys. Make sure the auto rifle is reloaded for the barrier breaking. Make sure your heavy is ready as well. And again, you can see that when the barrier champion is down below, he could literally just be really hard to target. But if you get him open, go for the quick shot. Once you get that health in the right place, a couple of crits. Sometimes it gets that little bit extra. Now, you'll see all those dregs come in the middle. There are some sniper shanks in there. There's one main one in there. You just want to pop the shields. That's why the solar bow is important. When you pop the shields, you should get most of them. Look for the sniper shanks. A couple may have wandered over there to the left. Make sure the snipers are down. They are the important ones. Really, dude's going to hide on me. We got this guy here in the middle. There we go. Sniper shanks are down. Look for the vandals. There might be one roaming. I think I saw one off to the left. There is one. Anything that can snipe you is going to hurt. Also, when you do enough work in this room, you are going to open up the boss. If you want to move him to the left-hand side, biggest thing that you're going to want to do is just get enough damage to move him. So if you've got the ammo, you can put a couple shots in, and you'll usually be able to move him just like that. He's going to go off to the left. Now, I still have this guy. This one's just going to be a little patience, especially with a bow. If you have Arbalest, that one's going to work fairly well. But now you're going to have your champions down there. Now, they're annoying because lots of things are trying to shoot you right now. This guy's annoying because he hovers up and down over this little edge. But just take your time, put some shots into this guy. If you're patient, this is not too bad of a lost sector. It's just if you rush it and all the stuff's out there trying to kill you, that's when it gets spicy. So again, if you get a chance to kill a random dreg, so one less grenade comes at you, do that. You get a chance to kill a vandal, hit that guy's shield so the explosion does some damage to him. Lots of patience on this one is going to work very well for you. Watch the grenades. There are a lot of those. If you can peek out, find a drag, peek back in. One less grenade popping in my face. There's another one down. Now, there's a nightmare drag sitting back there. He's annoying. Don't even worry about him. But if he does peek out, try and put some damage into him. Just like, yep. But he's usually hard to locate. If you're good on heavy ammo and you can get a good clean shot on him, go for it. But it's just usually hard to get one because he tends to hide himself all the time. There's a drag down. Now, that's the captain. That's where I'm going to have to use a grenade. Now, if I get a good clean stun, I'm going to go for the overload so he's out of my way. And that was about as much time as I would have. But if you can't get those 3 shots in there, just, again, be ready. Keep the arrow shots on him. That's why you want to thin the herd on these guys. One more. He's down. All right. I don't have a ton of ammo, so I'm going to run kind of probably stupidly, I would tell you, because there's a guy over here who's going to want to end me. But I'm literally just trying to get this ammo while the area is a little lower on the ads. I'm still getting tagged quite a bit. This is why, again, void resistance, arc resistance, probably the more beneficial ones that you're going to want. Solar's probably the least beneficial, I would imagine. Again, you have 2 arc captains, and this is why this one over here that you can see, This is why Pulse Grenade worked well for me, but Arbalest really would just be advantageous here at this point. But if you can get him to be, like, annoying... Now, again, this is probably going to kill me if I do this. That actually didn't. I would not advise doing that. That's just in a pinch. If you have a better way to do arc damage, again, Arbalest is just going to make this so much easier. Doesn't matter what shield you're facing, you're going to be able to take care of it. Same thing on that guy. Now, also, if you have an arc super, like not the one that I've got currently, but an arc roaming super, for example, yeah, just use that to clear these ads and you'll be good to go. I'm not using a super so you guys don't have to depend on a specific one, but this is the Nightmare Drag. If you can line him up, just like if you have the ammo, I'll kill him that way. I'm doing that because I know I have more ammo, so I'm good. Now, if I want to move the boss, now I'm going to do damage. Now, the reason I got such massive numbers there is because I picked up the Unstable Essence. If you ever get to a point where you can pick up one of those and do damage to the boss, you'll do it quick. There are no more champions, I'm pretty sure. So you should just be able to kill him. I just need to try and be able to survive the captain who's going to be all up in my face. That guy over there. And again, stay in cover. Not a great position over here. Again, that room is always open back in there. Normally, the captain's not up here sharing this deck with me, so I'm usually a little safer up here. I'd normally just say hang back here by this wall and work on thinning out these guys. Vandal's going to be annoying because he got those little tracer shots. I can get an arc grenade down there. That should, you know, work on breaking the captain's shield. Somehow he didn't back up enough into that grenade, so this is going to be spicy. And that's why the void resistance helps. That void resistance, because when that boss hits you and it matches that burn, it is really going to hurt. Yeah, that boss is really annoying me. For that captain. That's done. Every so often, that melee does not trigger like I want it to. I just want that captain down. Break the shield, try and delete him, get back in cover. I mean, he's so close to dead, I could have killed him a while ago, which is fine. I'm just trying to clear all the ads to show you guys kind of some of the issues we might deal with. But that's why. Arbalest, bring it with you. It's going to make the arc guys not an issue. You won't have to depend on a grenade. You can take advantage of the burn, and Arbalest will work on any shield in a much better fashion. This guy's done, and it's over. So there it is, 13 minutes. Not one that's usually farmable because it's just slow, but that was kind of the worst way to go about it. So hopefully if you guys have Arbalest, if you have Ticuu's Divination, use your Arc Super, and if you have a Void Heavy, you should be able to get some damage done. If you don't have a Threaded Needle, use an Umbral Engram or two and get at least one of those so you can use it. See if anything good's on the inside. We got a Helm of Saint 14 and a Flawless Solo. There we go. Just didn't even expect that one. Well, let's get back to the surface and wrap this up. But that is a wrap on K1 Logistics. So you've got quite a few options. If you don't have Arbalest, then definitely try and get you a Solar Bow or Solar Auto Rifle and a Kinetic Bow. And then your Arc subclass, you will need it for those few captains because trying to break those shields otherwise is just going to be frustrating. So bring an Arc subclass, use your Super on those two in the final area if you can save it to then. And hopefully this guide helped all of you out. If you know somebody who needs it, share it with them. But if you want to... if you enjoyed the video, drop a like below. If you have a loadout that works for you, share that below in the comments. If you want to find me on Twitter, it's Ebontis. For streaming on Twitch, it's Ebontis. Right here on YouTube, if you guys haven't subbed yet, please hit that subscribe button and the alert bell. The growth lately has been amazing. Thank you all for the support. And if you want to support me directly, you can join the channel as a member after you sub or join my Patreon down below. Thank you. Have a good one. I'll see you soon.